Let's start from lesson one, from magazines to books, building your platform. I know there's a lot of people that start out writing nonfiction. They write short pieces. They're writing articles, maybe for magazines, but they'd like to convert that into a book at some point. So how would you go about doing something like that?
Well, that's a question that I started asking myself probably maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I had been to Mount Hermon Christian Writers Conference and had had some really good teaching on magazine article writing, and I knew that there was money to be made in nonfiction short pieces. The question then came about, what do I do if I have an idea for a lengthier piece, something that, say, I could take all of my, several of my shorter pieces and somehow braid them together, tie them into a lengthier piece. So I began to look at the possibilities for publishing nonfiction. I think I'd like to, if you don't mind, Teddy, just lay a little bit of foundation here about why nonfiction books seem to do well in the market, whether you're writing for the ABA or the CBA. And I just kind of wanted to start by saying that there are more nonfiction books published than fiction, to the tune of, say, 4-to-1 or sometimes even 5-to-1, depending on who you believe. So far more nonfiction books are being published than fiction. And if you want to ask yourself, why do people read the books they do, in a nutshell, basically it's this. Readers turn to fiction to escape their problems. They turn to nonfiction to solve their problems. And it's really that easy. So people are turning to nonfiction 4 or even 5 times more than they're turning to fiction. You know, that statistic really surprised me, because when I first started looking at nonfiction books, I knew that I gravitated toward nonfiction, which is kind of funny because so much of my writing is fiction writing, but I gravitate toward nonfiction because there, like everybody else in the world, there are issues in my life that need fixing, and nonfiction books are a good way to try to fix those problems. So let's say you're a magazine article writer and you have put out some great articles, and you're thinking in themes. You're thinking, maybe I want to piece these together and create a nonfiction book. Well, there's a process, and it is you need to be well thought out before you sit down to do this, because there are so many things about writing a nonfiction book. Even though they sell better, even though there are more of them, you can see just by me saying that that means the competition is greater in the nonfiction world. And you need to get noticed by an editor or an agent with your nonfiction book. So it always comes back to the same thing, Teddy. It's a word that you and I talk about a lot, and that is platform. It comes back to building your platform, establishing a brand, and then trying to get yourself known, and in many cases known for a particular theme or a particular subject. If you were a novelist, I would probably tell you you need to come up with some of those Calgon take me away moments. But because these are nonfiction writers that we're talking to tonight, I really feel like this course was set out not to teach them how to take people away and give them sort of that fun getaway, but really to give strategic instructions on how to present the reader with practical, relevant material that's going to guide him or her on a journey toward a better life. And that really is what a lot of this course is about. It's about how to present material to a reader that shows them how to have a better life. And that's really a good chunk of what that first lesson is about. Teaching you as a writer how to lay it all out there for the reader so that they are encouraged, and then teaching you as a writer how to become an expert in your field, how to learn to lean on your own expertise.